I can't go another day with this on my mind. And I think it's time for a discussion. Why you so hard? Show me that you love me, baby. Why you so hard? Show me that you care. So many days, so many nights, so many tears. I had to cry. Told me you love me. That was a lie. Loving you was a mistake. Baby, loving you was a mistake.
All right. That was the opening with Tonio Armati, Raleigh, North Carolina, with the hit single "Loving You Was a Mistake." I love the R&B mixed with Southern soul and the blues feel. You know what we're talking about, that chitlin circuit, man. All the Southern states. Yes, sir. So today, man, we're back on the Chatterbox, another edition of Thumping Thursdays with yours truly, King Jacob. And we have none other than longtime homie, man. We ain't really rapped since about 2014, I guess, somewhere along in those lines. But I caught back up with him through, the great networking of social media. And so here we are with CEO Mark Savage, the one and only. What's up, bro?
My bro, what's going on, Jacob?
Ain't much, man. I can't call it, bro. I can't call it. So for those who don't know you, man, go ahead and properly introduce yourself to the audience.
Oh yeah, CEO Mark Savage. For those who don't know, man, I'm a producer. Used to be an artist in the beginning, went producer. Now we're CEO, entrepreneur. I got my cannabis license now. We got the Only Tree Strand, the Grow House. We have the Bag Chasers clothing. Everything. I'm throughout the board. We give back to the community. I'm a man of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Went to college, got my MBA from Kaplan University. Certification from Harvard Business School, Entrepreneur Essentials. I can go on and on about credentials and accolades, but what really makes me who I am today, man, is my grind, my hustle, my wife, my son, and my upbringing. That's what pushed me to be who I am today and pushed me to do everything I'm doing now, because I know the struggles I went through. And we're not trying to see Mark Sanders III, my son, we're not trying to see him go through that. So that's what's influencing what you see and what you hear and what's being done, prior to today and in the future, and I'm still young. I'm still in it's my last year, my 20s. So I'm just getting started, if you ask me. So.
Okay. 29 years old. So if you can go ahead and with the properly introduce yourself. So you probably introduced that with the introduction, but for just to give them a brief synopsis of to the public eye, because you do motivational speaking.
Yes.
And so when executive boards asks you when they're trying to book you, and they say, explain to us who Mark Savage is. What is your synopsis for that?
Oh, my synopsis for that is always going to be I'm a 29-year-old Black entrepreneur who raised through the ropes of corporate America from the company Red Ventures, which is a corporate 500 company. I raised through the chains of that to an MSA, went forward to the military directly after, served our country, did everything I was supposed to do, got out, and medically retired out. That point forward, my bachelor's is in sport management and entertainment. My associates is in audio engineering. And like I said, my master's in MBA. We come from Hidden Valley, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And if anybody knows anything about Charlotte, that there just explains what I come from, and then my education, and then what I stand for is giving back to the youth, making sure the youth is, not being tricked by the gimmicks and the I like to say the you know, the fairy tale dreams of, you know, dope life and criminal life. You know, I'm somebody who stands for, you know, being your own boss, standing up on your own 10, being a man, you know what I mean, and going through the stairway. You know, there's no elevator to success. There's only a stairway to success. You know, you have to take the stairs, and yeah, you might can run them, you know, but you only can run so long. It's a long way up. And I took the long way up. So if I had to break it down from that standpoint, I would give somebody that briefing on me, because there's different layers. You got the CEO Mark said. Then now when you just ask that goes to Mark Sanders. So Mark Sanders is different. That's a different. Those are different attributes to that than to do CEO Mark Savage. So me, that's what I would tell people if I was sitting in front of that board. They would hear that, because I know that comes at a different ear than the producing and all of that. That's cool. That's fine for that audience. But when you speak about that audience over here, they want to hear about the experience. What have you been through? What have you gone through in this avenue? What makes you the person to come speak to the kids? What makes you that person to speak to those older adults or older men who might be misled and still trying to figure it out? So I think those things make Mark Sanders Jr. who he is, and that would be what I would say to the board if I was standing in front of the board right now.
Okay. So we running back. Um, I'm gonna say shout out to Mark Savage and Louis D, which is now Lou Almighty. So with me learning about you, there was a single that you and Louis was pushing, man, and it was on fire, man. So rewinding it back before you left to go to the military, can you talk about that creation between you and him in that single, and why it did so well?
Yeah, absolutely. Louis D, shout out to Louis D, Louis Almighty. Me and him, we actually linked like this, networking. I came across him first. And I reached out. I was like, man, he about his business. Reached out, he hit back, he felt the same way, like, yeah, man, you doing your thing. And this time I'm an artist. Just graduated from college. I just got undergrad, so I'm trying to figure it out at this point. And I'm working at Red Ventures, like I spoke about earlier. And Louis D said, man, you need to come to the studio. So we go to the audio box. And the audio box at the time, producer 20 was there. Now, for y'all that don't know, producer 20 at this time, we talking ground zero. Ground zero. Producer 20 engineered that record. So he had ground zero. Louis D had to go pick him up. We talking, that's when the beginning of producer 20. And he went and picked him up from the house. Louis D said, I'll meet you at the audio box. I'm staying 10 minutes from the audio box. I was there, waited on him at 20. They pulled up. We went in. Louis D already had the record. He sent me the record the day of. And he said, man, I think you'll fit good on this song. He had already had the hook, the 28 gone. The 28 gone. The 28 gone. He had already had it. And I was like, man, it's catchy. And the beat was catchy. And I heard his verse and I was like, okay, he was swagging on it. So I said, I'm gonna deliver it something different. And I gave him what I normally would do, which is give him the savage, give him bar for bar, which rap ain't really about that no more. You know, it's more about the feel and the melody now. But at that time, bar for bar, and I just told Louis D, like, man, I got some. I'm gonna let you hear you, because I know he was in the battle rap. You know, I know that was something he was into. So I'm like, I got some bars for you, because he had never really heard me rap. He just heard Currency.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm gonna give you some bars, man. So that's where you hear the record and you hear those metaphors and those similes I was giving. It was based upon me wanting to impress Louis D. So that's why I went so hard, because I was trying to impress him. I looked at him like, that's big homie, that's big bro. You know, he doing it. He already doing it. I'm trying to get to where he was at the moment. He already had classified music group and all that. So I told myself, like, man, I'm gonna come in and show bro, like, man, I really can rap. And when he heard the verse, I remember him going crazy, like, yo, bro, you wow, you know what I mean? Like, he was feeling that joint. And it was the energy. And I think when you get in the studio with somebody and y'all make the music in the studio, it's different than the email thing. I'm gonna email you this song, you just do it. Nah, you got to get in that studio. And then 20 in there, his engineering. I mean, he's always been great at that. That's why he's doing great things like he's done with the baby, so on and so forth. He already had that, but that's what made that record so big, and so it was just the chemistry was there, bro.
It's funny you mentioned the baby. I told people, I've said, you know, a lot of us from the South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, we always know about the baby, Black Jesus.
Baby G.
That was his, yeah, that was his first name when he dropped his first mixtape.
Facts.
And then there was some controversy behind the name, and so he changed it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right. 20, man, he ain't the 20 that we remember. I'm gonna tell you that.
Oh no.
Um, to get 20 to work on to produce the track or engineer, you gotta have a bag, man.
Oh yeah.
Like for real, like for real. Like he do his thing. So upon that, man, you did the music thing, and you was climbing, you was climbing. A lot of people was checking for you, and so what clicked then while you left the music business and for a while, and you went to the military? So what clicked? Was it conversations with your parents? Was it conversations with older cats in the neighborhood, or was it just you had to find something that you can stand on and that will give you leverage when you come back into the real world of business?
Yeah. So to answer, you actually answered it. That last statement there, it was to give me leverage to when I came back into the real world, I could be able to not only grow, but I would already have what I needed to stand on when I came back. See, a lot of people, to me in hip hop, they come in, you might have, the quote unquote, you got the dope boys, or you might have that person that, he's been cracking credit cards or doing whatever he doing, to suffice and try to really get that record or to get that record deal or whatever. But me, I was thinking like, man, I'm trying to go beyond that. Like, I'm not trying to be, the dude who you catch, and got the record or he was hot, and then like, music fall off, and then it's kind of like, dang, what I do next? Like, it was kind of like I wanted multiple things to stand on, not just music, man. Like, music was always like that thing where it was like, man, I'm good at it, I love it, but music ain't paying no bills. Especially at my time, I'm spending a lot of money on this, and it's like, man, music ain't paying no bills this way. And I'm gonna be, and a lot of people ain't gonna admit that, but my end, it was like that's what it was. It was like, it wasn't paying the bills. So I said, man, I'm not doing nothing illegal. So I had to find a median ground, and the military came about, and it was like, man, this is gonna be my median ground, because I can do this, get all the benefits, everything I need from this, come out of this, and then I had a leverage because I know what the military was offering, but not everybody willing to take that sacrifice to go do that. So when everybody took the sacrifice, said, I'm gonna sell dope and I'm gonna rob or I'm gonna crack credit cards and I'm willing to risk getting 10 years, 20 years, RICO charges like we see left and right now in hip hop, I said, I'm gonna go this way and I'm gonna be QCP. I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be the Yo Gottis. I'm gonna be that, you know what I mean? Rather than taking this route and, free YSL and free everybody else that's going down and this hip hop police and RICOs. But I just decided this is what I wanted. I wasn't trying to catch 20 years behind trying to rap, and everything I worked for and sold dope for and crack credit cards for go down the drain for one, you know what I mean? For one goal I had, and everything goes away. The house goes away, the car go away, the girl, all that stuff gone. And you put in all that work in the streets to get there with rap just for it to fall down. And I wasn't trying to go that route. I knew I wouldn't. I was seeing it for the future. Like, that's not gonna be me, because I seen what was going on with that stuff. I was like, man, like, they getting these rappers up, and these rappers either killing themselves off or these rappers getting locked up. And I mean, to this day, my gut didn't tell me no lie, because to this day we
Right.
see everybody. I just seen yesterday they bankroll Freddie just got hit with 35 other people on a RICO indictment. And it's happening every time we turn around. It's somebody new, and it's because they're doing these things to succeed in their rap career, and then it's coming back to bite them. And that's just not the way to go, man. So the answer to the short story it all up, man, I just seen the future, went with my gut, and the military was the best option to give me that leverage in the real world.
Yeah, I seen that about Bankroll Freddie, but what a lot of cats don't know about Bankroll Freddie, he ain't asked for this. He was brought into that life, man. His data was a big deal in the streets, a huge deal. So a lot of times, when you come from it, it's just like game banging, bro. When you come from it, man, it's hard to get away from it. And sad to say, some people already know they from the streets. They live in the streets. They gonna die in the streets. This is all they know. And it's unfortunate because Bankroll Freddie career had took off You know what I'm saying? You know, he was getting booked a lot. So it's so unfortunate, man, you know. But sometimes you gotta learn how to separate business from the street ties. Sometimes you gotta change your whole narrative and change the people that you deal with. Because at the same time, when you deal with those people, it's good. But when them peoples come, people ain't gonna even put a late on your books. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you know, and that DA, that female DA in Atlanta, she raw and uncut. She
Uncut
played. She don't even play the radio.
at all.
Yeah, bro. She ain't playing no games. So
Man.
talk about that military experience, man. Like, what did you experience in the military that can help you for a lifetime?
Yeah, so for me, man, just from the beginning, basic combat training and advanced individual training, man, I met a lot of people from different backgrounds, a lot of connections that I made that still make a difference now because those are new supporters. Now, like, he was in the army with me, you meet so many different people, New Orleans, Cali, New York, New Jersey, Washington. I mean, it's just like college, man. It's another college experience minus the books. And I went there, man, and honestly, I mean, from just tactical skills, man, stuff that we think we know. We a lot of in the streets we talk about being militant, but man, that's a different type of, like, I done been in the streets, man. That being in the military, that's a different militant, like, than what I think most of us think is militant. Like, militant is way different from street context to military context. Like, military context is more about safety, precautions, you know what I mean, and cleanliness, you know what I mean, and really, like, being alert, you know what I mean, not getting high, not being drunk, those be the soldiers that you catch, somewhere with a $150 on them and stuff like that, because you got to be alert, man. You can't be high. And I know in the streets, everybody high, and I'm like, how y'all militant and everybody high?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's military about? What's militant about being high and drunk, toe up in the streets, in the club? Ain't nothing militant about that, and these dudes, nobody got no license. Everybody run around here with, just pistols on them, dirty or whatever. That's not militant, because if the police come get you and he take that gun from you, go do time, you got to bail out, or you might get a court date, or you got to fight that case. What's militant about that? You losing money and losing time behind that. Your family missing you behind that. He pulled me over. Yeah. I'm gonna show him some identification. He gonna give me the gun back and be like, all right, thank you, Mr. Sanders. Go ahead about your life. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen to me where I got it out in public. Police officer come up to me, hey, sir, you got identification and proper registration for that gun? I do. Can I see it? Pull it out, put it on my wallet, give it to him. Oh, dang, all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service, sir. Here you go. And give me my shit right back, and I'm gone. I done had it happen already twice. You know what I mean? So that's militant. You can't say nothing to me. I could be out in Walmart, the parking lot. I done went to the airport, and the airport take my weapon when it's broken down, and I get my weapon when I get back to where I'm going. That's militant. Like, that, talking about being militant is moving a certain way. But, that's just only one aspect. I mean, outside of that, man, outside of the culture, understanding what really being militant is, and then meeting a lot of different people from different backgrounds. One other thing that I really learned that helped me in the real world, outside of those three right there, was man, it was really, like I said, the benefits, man. Like, the TRICARE, life insurance. I don't pay for none of that. Like, my retirement takes care of all that, man. I don't pay for that. That's not something that come out of my pocket. My son, when he was born, the military paid for that. Circumcision, my wife, all her stuff that she had to get done. My son got the GI Bill. When he ready to go to schooling already paid for 4 years, or if you decide to do an apprenticeship, it's paid for. You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of, like, benefits is really what I took from the military. I get my checks every month. I ain't got to do it. I ain't got to lift a finger. I can sit here on this couch with you all day and talk for a month, and I'm gonna get my checks every month. You know what I mean? And that's another blessing that helped me in the real world, because that takes way more stress off of me than the regular civilian who might got to pay for all this stuff and got to go through the stripes and struggle of getting healthcare and life insurance and dental and, getting eyeglasses. Their kids need them if they need them. And we don't pay for none of that, Jacob. You know what I mean? Like that, I don't pay for none of that, So I think that's the biggest, man.
Right. Okay. That's what's up, man. And now you're married with a son.
Yes, sir.
You got a wife, and I mean, I don't want to bring it up and no disrespect to your spouse, and I salute her because being a wife and a mother is the biggest reward in the world, if you ask me,
For
for a
sure.
woman.
For
You know
one.
what I mean? And because a lot of people don't know, upon getting pregnant and then going to the operating table, that's the closest thing to death that a woman will ever see.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Because they don't know if they coming back out of the operating table.
That's a fact.
Because a lot of women have lost their lives giving birth. The baby lives, but the woman doesn't. So I definitely salute to her and every other woman that goes on the operating table.
Absolutely.
Salute, salute. So Mark Savage, you know, Mark Savage that I know was real suave,
Oh,
real, real suave. The
yeah.
all the ladies wanting to know who he was. Real, real like clean cut, always, dressed to impress. And, now he's married with a family and been in the military. And people are wondering why he's not an MC anymore. Why? Because he was so raw.
Yeah, man. That's the $1 billion question, man. You know what? Um,
Why? And then, I know for me, I'd be like, why Mark not on his common shit no more?
yeah, man.
Hmm.
Uh,
So we talking about MCs, man. Mark was like a common, the most deaf. Talib Kweli, he was like a gang star, but he can go Prodigy on you, he can go, Goody Mob on you, he can go Cool Breeze on you, but he also can give you that 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 raw and that ladies man appeal like LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane. So people like, man, what happened to Mark Savage, man? Why he ain't put out no records, man? Like, can we even hear him spit some on somebody's soundtrack or can like why he's not an MC anymore?
that's a fact. That's a fact. So, I got it's two answers to that. It's two answers. I got two. So my first one is, um, I think like when we talk about when I first came out of the military, that's what we stopped at. When I came out, and the goal would have been, okay, now I got the leverage. Let's jump back in this hip hop, right? That would have been the ideal thing, right? So I came home and I met Kid Hazel. Shout out to Kid Hazel, Slaughter Gang, 21 Savage, producer. I met Kid Hazel. Kid Hazel, like, man, was sitting in there. I was talking to him like, yeah, man, we gotta do something. I'm finna rap. I'm thinking get him on production. 21 Savage, your boy. I'm Mark Savage. I feel like I was before 20. I was before he even started rapping. I was already the Savage. So I'm like, yeah, man, we're gonna link this in. So that's my thought process. Like, we're gonna link this in. 21 Savage, Mark Savage, Kid Hazel, the producer. We gonna run the ball. Kid Hazel was like, man, you like, bro, and I was suited and booted. You know me, Jacob. I'm gonna come in there with the tie, the slacks, you know what I mean, the Cole Hines, I'm doing that. They
All
like,
right.
you rap? I'm like, yeah. They like, man, you look like somebody. CEO, man, what's up with you? I'm like, nah, man. I said, I really got bars. I rap. They like, bro, you hard. And Kid Hazel like, but man, you ever thought about like this side? I'm like, what you mean? He like produce. Like, I was like, yeah. I said, I started off doing that on Fruity Loops back in the day. I said, but that led to the rapping. He like, man, he said, I'm gonna show you something. So he had an artist come into the studio. 20 was Lil Harold. Lil Harold actually starting to bubble now. He's one of 21 Savage artists. He came to the studio. Lil Harold, he was coming in at a rap. He said, all right, bro. He told me, he was like, man, just tell him you the producer in here. Me and you gonna co-produce this record. And man, he gonna pay us up front for the beat. I said, all right. Thinking nothing of it. I was like, yo, what you want me to do? He's like, man, do me a loop. And I'm gonna go back, add the melody, add the hi-hats. I'm gonna do all that. I said, bet. So I did the loop, gave him like something simple, the 808, did a little something simple, gave it to him. I was like, do what you do to it. So he went in, spunked it. Lil Harold come in. He like, oh, what's that? He bubbling his head. He like, that's the one I'm doing? He like, yeah, that's the one I'm doing. He went right in the booth, laid down the track. To this day, I still never heard this record. But he came out, again, dope money. Come out the studio, hundreds. Both I'm talking about before I even know who Lil Baby was. 4 pockets full. Like he really had them bands pulled out the front too. He said, "How much I owe you?" He was like, yeah, just give me 8,000, bro. We good. 8,000 is yours. You got the exclusive rights." Man, that man counted out 8,000, gave it to Kid Hazel. He left out. Kid Hazel gave me half of it. And I was like, he was like, bro, he was like, this where you need to be at. And then that kind of spunked me because I was like, well, dang, I've been doing this. I was doing this before me and Louis D, before Kern. I was like, I've been doing that, like been writing, been producing. The rapping came about right before I met Louis D. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, dang, like I've been doing this. I've been doing beats since that was easy. And he was like, bro, this is where, and he put me in place. And then from there, like I already told you, I met a couple people out here, just being able to travel from the military and stuff. That's when the sync placements came in. And to be honest, Jacob, that's my second answer to the question. The sync placements came in, and I've been running the course with that, bro. Like, it seemed like I got zoned in doing this aspect of it. Man, I ain't even thought about rapping. Like, it kind of just wasn't there no more. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not there to where I can't get in there and do it, but it wasn't there to where I was really physically like, man, yeah, I know I got to get back in the booth, producing cool, but nah, I just kind of fell in love with this, man. Like, I don't know, it just kind of went away, just kind of went with the flow, and that's where I've been at. So
let's talk about you, a Carolina dude, but you live in Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
What made you want to make that transition to LA?
The military. It was because I was first North Carolina. I went to basic combat training in South Carolina. I went to advanced individual training in Virginia. Then I left there, and then I went to Fort Bliss. That's down there by Mexico. I was at Fort Bliss, Texas, and then we went from Fort Bliss, Texas, to Maryland. So I was in the DMV for like about a year and a half. Left there, and then we came to Colorado. So then we was already on the West Coast, and it was just like LA just kind of, it was kind of in the motion because, Colorado, LA is kind of like all in the motion. So that's kind of how that came about. It was just like the next closest thing to where I could get action and be in the mix, but not necessarily like have to come all the way back down to the South. And I kind of felt like, the South always going to be home. North Carolina always going to be home. LA is like creme de la creme. Like you can meet, like I think I told you this before, like, man, you can kind of just run into people, man, daily, make those connections, and then you can just pull up, and I mean, any given time, like Crenshaw and Slauson, you could be there. People come by, show love to Nip. You might see Boosie like, oh man, I just came to show love to Nip, take my picture, or you just be anywhere. I'm at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. You might see P&B Rock. I mean, it's just, you see Gunna at the Slauson Donuts. Just I'm on Crenshaw. I see these in the movies. So LA has always been a prominent like city in our culture. So I always felt like, to get like that information or to meet those certain people that I might not meet that ain't gonna come to Charlotte. They don't have no reason or might not be interested to come. They definitely come to LA. Like LA and New York is like LA, New York, and LA is like, and Miami. I throw Miami in there. It's kind of like, the four top of the top, bro. Like if you there, you guaranteed you're gonna meet people, see people, and get the game you might not get when you just stay stationary, So
Well, yeah, I've had experience with. Shout out to my man from LA, man. Shout out to DJ Gooney. Shout
DJ
out to
Goni, yeah.
yeah. Shout out to Miss Tiffany Gaines, SS Global. And shout out to Miss LaShawn Turner, NBC, news, NBC media. Just shout out to all my LA people. So I'm a blogger too, so I had a chance to blog about them. So you know what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I do some of everything, Savage. Yeah.
I
For
know,
sure.
I know it. Hey, I know Jacob be on it, man. I know you.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. So
man.
man, with that, man, the sync placements, over 12,000 sync placements.
Yes,
And
sir.
so how long did it take you to build it up to that many sync placements?
We're going on January. It'll be about 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what would you tell an indie artist about sync placements, man?
I would tell an indie artist that if you are looking for an outlet as an artist, not even producers, I'm gonna just say as an artist, if you're looking for an outlet to get your music heard, to be seen in a different light than your typical, BET, MTV, trying to get on the hip hop station on your local radio stations, or trying to get a TikTok big dance or a TikTok big record, man, a sync placement is probably the next biggest thing to radio, because not only is it being broadcast on these major networks like, well, from an artist standpoint, it would be your Love and Hip Hops and, different shows on Netflix like All American and stuff. You might catch a record that can get played during the certain like P rolls and stuff they catching with the footage on American on the series and stuff, or the intro or the outro. You might can get some of them records to play it in, get put in the credits. So you might, I mean, people, that sound like so and so song. It's a way to kind of get you seen and heard in a light that a lot of people not really tapping into. I think a lot of people see people's songs and stuff or get placed on TV shows and stuff, and I think people just think that's luck. Like, oh, well, they heard the song on YouTube or something and they picked it up. Nah, like it really goes into like the music libraries and music directors that's over that particular show or over that series or whatever the case may be, and you got to really tap in with that person. But I would tell them, man, it's a big thing outside. It's the next big thing outside of radio, because streaming's big. So everybody on Netflix, everybody got the Rokus and the smart TVs.
I don't care for
So,
streaming, bro. You telling me an artist work hard, all these blood, sweat, and tears, recording, mixing, mastering, paying for a PR, doing showcases, trying to get on tours, and you telling me they sync are only worth 38 cents?
Who sync worth 38 cents?
I mean, if you look at how the streaming services break down the revenue, bro.
Oh, the revenue,
yeah, bro. Like, I was listening to hip hop legend Scarface say, man, he was like, man, if you look at the artist LaRussell, LaRussell made sure people can buy straight from his site, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, his album was $10.99 on the site. He sold 400,000 copies on his site.
Yeah, I seen that. I did see that,
bro. That's the bag, man. And so, and back to the sync licensing, bro. The sync licensing brings so much revenue. Mm-hmm. Like, an artist can already be rich before they even get a major deal if they got the right sync licensing. You know what I mean? Yep. If they did with the right agent. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you got 12,000 placements. So we ain't gonna talk about your bag.
I was about to say, I don't even want to talk about it.
Boy,
I don't want nobody talk about me. He bragging.
All I'm gonna say, that's all we can say about that. Yeah,
most definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say, we talk about them syncs. You get to talk about the bag, man. Yeah, that's what you heard Jay-Z say. I just got $1 million off a sync without having to get it out the sync. You heard him on God Did. He said it. He told him. You know what I mean?
And I heard T.I. said the same shit. I heard T.I. said, man, he said, I know I had music placements, man, and I ain't get a sync check for 2 years, man. He said, man, but when they start coming in, 100,000 here, 60,000 here, 47,000 here, 32,000 here, he said, man, he remember every day for about 45 days, he was getting a sync check.
Telling you, bro.
Crazy, man.
Crazy, man. That would be my third. If I had to give you a third answer on why the MC came down, it was like, bro, I'm winning this way. Like, God led me this way for a reason, and it's working. I can't name too many people, too many producers that's doing the syncs the way I'm doing. I know a couple, Gummy Beats, Clint Music, the one I sent you, he's a reference. He been doing it for a minute. He been getting his. It's a couple, but bro, it ain't too many. Most producers chasing the rappers. Oh, let me try to get Yo Gotti to get on something, and that's like,
I'm gonna hit both of them. You sent me this week, man. Because I know, I work for a exquisite PR firm, and we got Big V of the platinum hip hop group Nappy Roots as a client. So okay. I'm definitely plugging in, and it's always open for you, bro. If you ever decide to put out just an EP, just a small EP, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's open for you. It's open for you, man.
Jacob gonna let me come back, man.
Yeah. It's a few, man.
Yeah.
All you need is 5-song EP, shoot about 3 nice videos. You know how it go, bro.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
So you already plugged in, so why not? That's all I'm saying.
I was just about to say, I mean, if you talking like that, it's like, why not, man? Why not? I might as well go
Yeah,
ahead and
yeah,
salute
yeah,
you.
yeah. So why not? So now the next thing I want to go to is Mark Sanders Jr. as a businessman.
Okay.
Door Capital. Dual Capital. So tell me how you and your partner orchestrated that. I know he's the founder.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the co-founder. And so tell me how that's orchestrated and tell me how I can plug in with you to be a reference to help other people grow and I can get a finder's fee for finding these people for you.
Oh, too easy. Too easy. So yeah, so to answer the first question, Trey Durr, that's my frat brother. We met through the military. So he went to Jackson State. Shout out to Jackson State. Shout out to Deion Sanders doing his thing out there. But he went there, then he went to Fort Bragg. I was at Fort Bragg first. And he came and then we met there. And then he's all, like I said, he's a part of my frat. We kind of noticed it with the car plates, and then we linked. He wasn't doing real estate then. He was a lieutenant in the Army. He was doing his thing. He got out too. He got everything he needed, came to real life, and he invested in the real estate. He did 2 residential houses. He did those first. Then he contacted me and said, bro, I see you doing your thing. Because he seen what I had going. He like, bro, I see you doing your thing. I need somebody else to come in and help me, bro. Like, if I had somebody else that could think like me, like you do, and they got the money to come in and help out and got your influence to bring other investors, we can make this thing big. And I said, all right, I got you. So we did. I came in, I started assisting them, website, social media, bringing in investors. I brought in like 7 investors. And he tapped me in. He said, bro, I got my first commercial unit. And from that commercial unit, which is in Charlotte, which people can go check it out. And I can send it's on my page. It's on the Dirt Capital Group page. But we got the big unit that sits out there like by Sugar Creek. That was the first big old unit, and we rent that out, the suites out. And that was the first big project he had. He was like, bro, we own. And then that's kind of how it got started. So to go back to what you asked about, how can you get people in it and all that? So I would advise on the website, dirtcapitalgroup.com, there's a portion on there where they can fill it out if they are interested in investing. And they can literally fill that out. It'll come to me. I'm over that. So it'll come right to me and I'll contact them back. Or if they just want to do the direct thing, they don't want to go to the website, mark@dirtcapitalgroup.com. Write me and we can discuss everything.
Okay, so what about people that's not investors, but they want to kind of work for y'all? So I have some sources that I'm gonna send you, bro,
Okay.
where it's a lot of older apartments in the like Atlanta area, Detroit
Okay.
area, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that's condemned. But the government will give you the grant money to fix them up, and we'll talk.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk. So so when it comes to stuff like that, man, and I know what tons of land that is for sale. So we come some
My
home
man.
developers and have our own subdivision.
My man, I got you.
Yeah,
Stay
yes,
with
sir.
you.
Yeah, man. So tell me how it's grown 30 units at approximately worth 3.7 million.
Yeah,
Bro,
man.
that's big. That's huge.
Yeah, man. It seemed like after that first commercial I was just talking about in Charlotte, it seemed like it went from there to bro, because he originally from Mississippi. So he went back home and got the liquor store. So then he went back home and got their own liquor store. And then the liquor store is connected to 2 other units. So then that's 3 units right there. The other 2 pay rent to Dirt Capital Group. So then you go from that to then, okay, bro turned around and went and bought an apartment in Jackson. Jackson is damn near like Flint. You know what I mean? It's like a third world country out there, with the water and all that stuff going on. So like you said, the government ain't dealing with it, and the city ain't dealing with it. Bro said, man, I'm gonna get that. He went, he said, bro, we're gonna get it. Went and grabbed the apartment. The next thing you know, That's 10 more. That's 10 more units right there. Cause that a small apartment complex, nobody wanted it. He said, we gonna renovate it, we gonna do it over, and we gonna rent it out. So then boom, that's 10 more units. Then you turn around, you come back to Charlotte, and it's like, we got this duplex, or we got this house in Concord we can do. Oh, I just found this other crib, you know what I mean, out here in Kannapolis. And then it's like, man, we just, all it is just, it just kept revolving. We just keep finding stuff, keep finding them. And then we keep making investments, keep renovating it. Then, man, the appraisals come out. We got our own team. We got our own, you know what I mean, everything. Like we literally in-house with everything. It's not like we really got to outsource. Like everything we do is the same people. You know, photography for the photos, all that stuff is done in-house. We got people for all that, our lawyers, all that stuff, man, like contracts, you name it, bro. We got somebody for it that we've dealt with since day one. And I think that's the most important thing to make something grow is sticking to the same team, even when you got them bumps and bruises, because you're gonna have people that's gonna be in one of your houses or something, damage the shit up, and then you gotta fix it or try to skip off on you. And you know, COVID hit. That was a hard time for people that was in real estate. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have those ups and downs, but it's about sticking through it, fighting through, and then knowing that, man, you got something that can't be duplicated, man. Land. You know what I mean? You can't duplicate land, man. They only gonna make one of that. You know what I mean? So if you got it, hold on to it. And man, grow it. You know what I mean? Put something on it, develop it, take your time, don't rush it. You know what I mean? Make sure you got good contractors. You know what I mean? And make sure you doing right by your people when it come down to being a landlord, because that's the hard part. So making sure you're doing that too.
No doubt, no doubt. So you know, I'm gonna be contacting you this upcoming week. You know, with some information. I'm gonna hit you with some information first. Then I'm gonna
Okay.
definitely contact you, man. And you know, because I tell people all the time, man, buying that land, it gives you leverage with the bank. You know what I'm saying? Um, and once you got land, and once you got great personal credit, great business credit, once you already then put money in the trade lines to get a line of credit, you know, maybe your first line of credit will be 30K, put about 8,000 back into the trade lines. In the next 120 days, you have about 90K. So, you know,
That's the sauce, Jacob. That's the
yeah,
sauce.
yeah, man. So understanding the way revenue works is like a whole different animal.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? It's a whole different animal. And then you know what I learned to find out, even with white people, man. If you get a white person and you pique their interest just off your conversation, they'll show you a world of things, man. They'll
Bro.
they'll they'll show you something, man. You know. And then I don't know if you guys ever thought about it, but do you guys have any type of call center for your business?
Not yet. That's a good one. Not yet. I like that one though. I do
Good
like
work.
that.
Good
Yeah,
work,
yeah, I
bro.
like that one.
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
where you
yeah,
going with it too. I'm like, yeah, I
yeah,
know what you're
yeah,
on. Oh yeah, we
yeah,
need that. We definitely need that, man. For
yeah.
sure.
But yeah, man. I'm proud of you, brother. You've been doing your thing and keep doing it, man. And I'm back in touch with you. I'll definitely be in touch. And man, I'm gonna say you Lou number two, man, because you know Lou is heavy in them container homes. He got the
Oh, the
plug with
container.
container.
Okay.
He got the plug with container homes, bro.
Okay.
And you know some of the container homes I seen look like mansions, bro.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe it.
man. Yeah,
I'm trying
man.
to tell you.
And then you know, a lot of times, you know, me and you from the country, so we from the south. So a lot of times, man, when you buy that land and you put you some mobile homes on the land, some decent looking mobile homes and stuff, bro, you got a whole mobile home park that's gonna bring you money, bro. Like a lot of it, you know. So yeah,
And to
bro.
be
So we,
honest, I'm about to say, yeah, to be honest, I'm glad you said that, because for the listeners, man, if we could do it all over, and I'm talking for bro too. If we could do it all over, we would have did mobile homes first.
yeah, but
So
it ain't too late, bro.
yeah, no, it
It
ain't. It
ain't,
ain't. I'm just saying for the ones that want to get started, or I want to do, man, that it's less expensive. You know what I mean? And to be honest, you know what I mean. You can do so many of them and then rack it up. You know, it's just as much. It's just as good as probably getting an apartment. Like, okay, I got a T. Like we got the 10 unit. man, you can get 10 mobile homes probably for half of what we got. That 10, like, man.
Yeah, because you think if you got 10 acres of land, you can put 2 mobile homes on 1 acre. I mean,
And
and
eat.
you know, the rest is history. Yeah, you can eat,
Eat.
man.
Yep.
So man, but you know, that's what it is. But we're gonna be talking, man. We're gonna chop it up. And you know, I'm gonna plug you with a few people and you know, let's go, man. If you got some people out there, man, that want to come on the podcast, just plug them with me, man. I'm open. You know what I mean? You know, so let's work, man. Just all about working and stuff like that. Now, and I just signed a new contract tonight with 18 Studios out of Fayetteville,
My
and
man.
so the podcast be going on, you know, Amazon TV, Apple TV, you know, Android TV, you know, so you know, we working, bro. We working.
Man, congrats, bro. See, I
Yeah,
told I was, man, one thing about you, I know Jacob gonna make it happen, boy.
oh yeah, I got you, man. I got you, man. I tell people, man, just cause you from a small community, small town, don't mean you can't be successful.
Not at all.
You
Mean
know what I
nothing.
mean? So, that's right, man. So, man, shout out to you, bro, and we're gonna get out of here, man. But give people shout outs and give them your information so they can follow you, contact you, and you know the whole ordeal.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. Shout out to Jacob, you know, first and foremost for having me. And then I want to give a big shout out to Lou Almighty, man. Since like I said, we're gonna be touching back bases. Shout out to Dirk Capital Group, the whole team. It's too many of y'all to name. Shout out to DJ King, my partner with Royalty Entertainment. And you know, definitely follow Dirk Capital Group on Instagram. Follow me, produced by Savage on Instagram. The YouTube is CEO Mark Savage. And then you can follow the Royalty Entertainment Twitter. It's Royalty ENT, and then Instagram is It's Royalty ENT too. I know I got multiple stuff, man. Only if you in California, Colorado, the only trees is available for those that can do it medicinally. If you got a medical card, you can do the only trees strand. It's a Ithaca and hybrid strand. So you can get either or. That's it. No gummies or anything like. I know people ask me that. Just strictly the trees. If you into that, if you got that. Hopefully North Carolina, South Carolina, you know, whenever they decide to do it, we can get it down there. But until then, you know, it's out here on the West Coast. That's where you got to come get it. And yeah, man, like I said, last thing, dirtcapitalgroup.com. Fill out the site if you're interested. And then if you want to email me about it, it's mark@dirtcapitalgroup.com.
All right, man. You heard it first. The Chatterbox with King Jacob, live with CEO Mark Savage, man. Peace and blessings to you all, prosperity to you all, and most of all, man, keep God first, and He shall calculate your footsteps. We out of here.
Man.
Peace.